All right, it's 5 days to the general election, 5 days before Nigerians head to the polls to elect their next president, the person who will be steering the wheel of the nation's vehicle for the next 4 years, at least for the first 4 years. And we hope you've gotten your PVCs and you're ready to participate in the election so that you don't end up whining and complaining for the next 4 years. And on that note, we welcome you to the show this morning. Morning Spring on Western Spring Television is what you're watching. This is where we bring it to you as it is when it drops from where it drops. My name is Emmanuel Ujadugele. I'm saying welcome to the program this morning, Monday, the 20th of February, 2023. It seems that February is the February's February to ever February in the history of February.
I've been expecting that.
All right, talk to me about that, David Chokwe.
Thank you very much for joining us, Emmanuel. Thank you for being here. And thank you for joining us, viewers. It's Monday the 20th, as Emmanuel has said, and we have 5 days till the general elections. My name is Temitope Ajujolaoluwaola. Thanks for joining us this morning on Morning Spring on Western Spring Television.
Well, it seems that both of us are in very high spirits this morning. We're excited. I don't know why Temitope is excited. Before me, I'm excited because it's just 3 days before a king is born or a king was born.
Oh.
So if you know what that means, start preparing your gifts and all of that to bring to the man, the legend, the one and only Peace Out. Yeah. Anyway, you can follow us on all our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram at Western Spring Television, on Twitter at WSTV_NG. And of course, you can check out our YouTube channel, Western Spring Television, where you can catch up with past episodes of your favorite programs. And of course, even watch us live on the program. Well, we'll be bringing you the papers this morning to tell you what is happening on the faces of the national dailies. We talk about a lot of interesting things have happened over the weekend, and we're expecting to see how the national dailies have put them for you. And we'll come back from this break. We'll bring you the papers to stay with us.
The history of guns is traced to China. The Chinese had developed a technology civilization that produced devices identified as guns at about 1000 AD. By the end of the 13th century, the devices had become true guns and described as metal barrel firearms that fired single projectiles which occluded the barrel. When did gun become an instrument of war? The first battles to be decided by firearms were between French and Spanish soldiers. The early 16th century warfare included Magnano in 1515, Bicocca in 1522, and Pavia in 1525. The wars were fought in Italy. The gun is a weapon of destruction and death, but humanity sees it as a potent instrument of family destruction. People with guns feel safer even if they don't display it. Western Spring Television identifies history of guns as a watershed event in history.
All right, viewers, thanks for staying with us. It's still the Morning Spring on Western Spring Television, and it's time for newspaper review. We're starting with a Punch newspaper this morning, and the banner headline says, APC governors, bank CEOs in last-minute rush declare Naira mess. And the riders, 12 governors, APC chair want Emefiele Malami to obey Supreme Court order. Naira crisis has brought so much pain. Adamu laments Ganduje, Abiodun absent. Bank CEOs want old notes collection extended to avert protests, attacks on branches. Well, I could understand the fact that Naira crisis has brought so much pain, but the fact that some governors are lamenting, it baffles me, Emmanuel.
Yes, a lot of persons actually have been asking what the motive is, what the rationale is behind the governors coming out to support, to criticize the policy rather. And there have been so many theories about the governors, people saying that there was the ASU strike, the governors did not come out to talk, there was the fuel scarcity that is still ongoing.
They
didn't really write letters and all of that. Nobody was dragging the president by his non-existent bed. But this is the Naira policy now. And it seems that there's more to it. I think you were making that this morning, that remark this morning, that there's really more to it. There seems to be more to it than we know, both on the part of Godwin Emefiele, the central bank governor, and of course the governors themselves. Seems to be a battle of governors now and presidents. I feel that the governors have a reason for what they are doing. It seems that they've been the hardest hit by this policy, and I wonder why that is. They don't run banks, they don't run money agents, as far as I know, for some of them. So you begin to wonder why exactly they are disaffected. I mean, they're saying they are clamoring for the good of the people, but the people themselves in Kaduna, I saw some videos coming out from Kaduna saying that Verify is not the president has spoken and they will follow the president's directive. So definitely, even the people, you don't have all of them on your side. It means that there is something else. All of those theories flying around may just have some elements of truth to them, but you cannot substantiate those claims.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's really, intriguing to see the drama going on.
You see, my take home from all of these back and forth that we've been having before the elections is that this is an election of conflicts. We have conflicting views on different things, on the Naira crisis, on the fuel scarcity, on everything.
Even in intra-party
and
crisis,
then it seems to also be an election of motives. People are having a lot of motives towards this election. I mean, the APC governors, this 12, they have their own motives. The federal government does have its own. The CBN also, on another side, has its motives. So people across board have their motives, and everyone is just serving his own interest as it is, really.
And worrisome, actually, is that it is surprising to see that governors who are notorious for disobeying court orders suddenly, I mean, two wrongs don't make it right, but these governors suddenly want the federal government, Emefiele and Malami, to obey the Supreme Court order because now it affects them. I mean, the evidence is there online of Nasser Rufai, disobeying court orders, Wike doing the same, so many of these governors doing the same. A lot of these states are in huge judgment debts, debts that have been awarded against them by competent courts of law, and they've not obeyed those what's it called now? Those orders. So now you people have seen that it could be painful if court orders are not obeyed. So now it's a battle of all these persons not having clean hands and then wanting to come to equity. That's why.
What makes it even more obvious is we have people who have been in the bandits' net for a while now, who have been kidnapped. Governors didn't rally themselves around to say, we need this person released within so and so period. Nothing like that has ever happened. I don't think it has. Only the talks, please release this person and all. No meetings. No meetings towards that end, to that end. And then you're having Naira crisis, and you're having, governors rallying themselves around and instructing the federal government to obey the Supreme Court order. All of this shows that they have, where their interests lie, and it is not with the people
at all. It is not with the people at all. It's very obvious. Well, we wait to see how that will be resolved. It's just 5 days to the election. Let's see how that affects the election.
All right, we move down to the bottom strip of the paper. Vote for leader with capacity, character, Oyedepo says. And I don't think there's any advice that Nigerians need more than this at this time. We need to vote our conscience. We need to vote capacity. Very important now.
Competence.
Vote competence and character.
What remains to be seen is if we will take that advice. We are known to vote. I mean, Nigerians are known to be, it's only Nigerians I see who sees something really bad happening, and there's a choice to make. they make a choice that aggravates what's already bad, and then spend time complaining that it has gone from bad to worse. But you walked directly into it. There's been so many advice, so many pieces of advice, so many, admonitions.
Yes.
But what remains to be seen is along what lines do Nigerian votes?
And
Nigerians vote?
this has been, these candidates this particular time have been the most embattled.
Yes.
I mean, you've talked with the people who have really analyzed them, broken their character down. So you cannot say that you don't have an inkling
confused.
as to what they're bringing to the table.
Yes.
So you really need to know and make a choice if it's competence you want, or you're still going to vote along the lines of religion and ethnicity. Yes.
Right.
So really, so that's why I said that we need this advice. I mean, some sort of advices from a father to children at this period, to vote capacity, to vote competence, to vote character, which is really important.
Well, that's that.
On to the next one. Ogun woman set self ablaze over 70,000 naira debt. We've had this naira crisis really messing up with people. And the fact that she can't even feed. I was hearing a lot of stories over the weekend. People saying they can't feed. I even had a fair share of something like that. I mean, someone walked up to me, was asking for as little as 100 naira. And he said he wanted to buy food. Yes. And I was even wondering, what would you buy with 100 naira?
I mean,
Really?
It's unfair. You
Really
can't even buy
worrisome.
pop-off. Pop-off is now 15 naira
15 naira per one.
You
So
can't-
you have two pieces.
two very small pieces to must say.
Exactly.
It was sad that woman set herself ablaze over 70,000 naira
Really?
debt. I don't know how she got into the debt. That reminds me of a young man who did the same thing last year, somewhere around the Elisha garage. That was about 50,000 naira. He committed suicide, and they were searching for him for about 9 days before they eventually found the body. And I also think that we need to be more humane as people. I've seen the way some debtors treat their creditors.
I understand.
Let's not even talk about.
We could
these
talk
loan
about the
apps.
creditors
Yes.
then, but even now, everyone is having it bad, man.
Yes, but
Even creditors are having it
the
bad.
funny thing is, creditors can also be the debtors sometimes. Life is not really straightforward. It can
Exactly.
happen to anybody at any time. So if you are in that position, you should be. The least you should be is understanding and kind. You can be firm without being condescending, without making people feel less of themselves. We hope that she finds rest. I don't know. We hope that she
And the
finds
family,
rest.
really.
Yes, and the family.
All right, Khan laments Leah Sharibu's continued captivity. Well, the fact that Khan is bringing this at this time, it's something like what I was saying, that we're not looking in areas where we need to touch. We need to, touch like some areas of importance. Leah Sharibu has been in captivity for a very long time.
Yes, close to 6 years now, if
Yes,
I'm not mistaken.
very long time. And our governors are talking about cash crisis. It's saddening, really saddening.
Well.
But above the nameplates, Buhari, Jonathan, others became president unprepared. You see, this statement is very troubling. I understand Jonathan, completing the Yaradua tenure. That's the first time. But he contested a second time.
And won.
That does not show unpreparedness. You have to prepare for an election, isn't it?
Yes.
You campaign, you rally people around, you rally voters.
You have an agenda.
Exactly. And you even make bogus promises. That's not unpreparedness. Except you're just going there to. You can't just be
even want
unprepared
to go
for the
there.
highest office in the. No. You don't tell me that all these people became Buhari.
Well,
According
we could say for Buhari is that he probably, I wouldn't say he wasn't prepared. I would say that he did not understand the rigors of the office. He did not understand that times have changed from the military era. I mean, some of the policies we are seeing now came up in the 1980s.
Know that that's still not an excuse.
No, it's not. I don't think Bishop Matthew Kuka is making an excuse for them. I think he's just saying that these men don't even know what they were doing in the first place. They appear to be clueless. And it is true. I think it's true that maybe, just maybe, they didn't expect what they met on ground. But that's the hallmark of a leader. You don't work with what you can see alone. You work with potential challenges, potential bottlenecks that you can find, because it's not going to be an easy ride. So if you're in office and then all of a sudden you can't, I mean, our president was petroleum minister for 8 years. We never saw anything change. There was no change.
Positive change.
At all. We didn't see anything. So you wonder what, he said that he wants to work with the people that he trusts. In security became worse to the point where his own personal guard brigade, they were attacked, to the point where the National Defense Academy was attacked.
Yes.
I mean, it has never happened. Bishop Kuka may have a point when he may be later in the
Lose 208